How I bought a Tesla for under $10,000.
It's Brian Preston, the money guy.
You guys know I absolutely love my Tesla Model 3, but I also had an opportunity to buy a Model Y, and I was trying to figure out, do I upgrade my car? Does it make sense? Because I'm the type of person that drives a car for 10 years, so only driving this Tesla for 3.5 to 4 years, it just didn't feel like it made sense. But guess what? Elon made me do it. Let's cover this. Why I had to get rid of my Tesla Model 3. If anybody's watched the show, and if you went back to the founding of the Money Guy Show, if you looked at some of our most successful YouTube videos, historically, it was of my original Model 3. This is one of the first versions of the 2018 Model 3. This is right after we had the whole ramp crisis where Elon was sleeping at the factory. This is April of 2018. I got my Tesla Model 3. And if you remember, historically, Elon announced the Model Y, the SUV version of this car. He had the big announcement on March 14th of 2019. And just for the heck of it, I made a huge accidental mistake that has turned into a great opportunity, is I put down a $2,500 deposit on that Model Y. I didn't really feel a need for it, but I was like, why not? So I put down that deposit. September 11th of 2020, Tesla started sending me emails. First, it started with, hey, prepare for your delivery. I ignored them. The next day, September 12th, sent me another one. Hey, prepare for your delivery. I ignored them. July 3rd of 2021, I got this email from the Nashville office, and it said, Tesla, response required. So when I found out that they indeed were allowing me to buy this car at prices from March of 2019, I was like, oh my goodness, I guess I'm going to have to do this, because it was economically, it was too good of a deal to pass up. And this is when I realized that Tesla's ripping off Tesla owners and what I did about it. So the first thing you'll notice when you want to get rid of a used Tesla is you have really two options. The first one is trade it in directly to Tesla. That sounds, the pro of that is that's definitely the easiest approach, and it allows you to get the sales tax offset, which here in Tennessee is about 7.5%. And let's put value to time, that's actually very valuable from a time standpoint. But there's a huge glaring problem with trading into Tesla directly. And I'm just going to say it is a ripoff, is because they put absolutely no value on full self-driving technology. This is an option. When I first bought my Model 3, I was able to get this for $3,000, but because the improvements of technology, the innovation, it's actually now worth over $12,000. You have to pay $12,000 for this option. Imagine your surprise as an owner if you find out that if you trade in your Tesla to Tesla, that option is worthless. Elon was looking into it, and it decided to buy Twitter. That was my own joke. Nobody's here in the audience, so nobody laughed at it. But I entertained myself. But seriously, though, this is an issue that I didn't like. The other option, if you're not going to trade it in, if this makes it no-go because you consider this a ripoff, you always have the ability that you could sell it private party. So I had a coworker here at the office that her husband actually was looking for a Tesla, or thought this would be a cool car to have. So we worked it out. So I sold it to a coworker for the trade-in value that Tesla offered me, plus a sales tax adjustment. So it was getting them a great deal. Like I said, the full self-driving keeps working because this is a private party transaction. There was actually a bonus that we didn't know at the time that we did this transaction. I had a lifetime connectivity, premium connectivity on my Model 3 because I bought this so early that it was just grandfathered in. That transferred over. I don't know if that transfers over forever, but it transferred over when I sold my car. And then I love the thought of paying it forward. This was a car that brought me so much joy. It would sure be awesome if I could create another brand ambassador, somebody else who, since Tesla doesn't spend any money on advertising, let somebody else enjoy this car. They're going to tell their coworkers, they're going to see how awesome it all is. And then I love the fact that I added 4 more years to my battery warranty, because that is still a fear. Anybody who's driving an electric car, you know these cars only have a warranty for about 8 years. So if you can reset the process, it gets you 4 more years. I gave them the deal of $41,000. Now look, that's not top dollar. I recognize that, because you can see right now you can sell a private party value on this exact same Tesla is going to come in right around somewhere between $47,000 to $50,500. So right around $48,710. So you can see I walked away from about $7,000 by dealing with this, just looking at the Kelley Blue Book trade-in value. But let's actually get into what I bragged about in the title. How did I buy a Tesla Model Y for less than $10,000? Let's get into the numbers. So the first thing I think is important is to look at what they charged me on this brand new Model Y. Remember, I reserved this thing in March of 2019. The base price that they had on it was $61,000. At the time, they were only charging $5,000 for full self-driving, and that's it. You notice that the subtotal down there is $66,000. They didn't charge me any upgrades for the paint color, because I went with black, which at the time was the standard color. So this car was going to cost me $66,000. Let's fast forward and now look at what this car would cost today. And here's where it's crazy. We went to the base price went from $61,000 to, you can see now a Model Y Performance is $67,990. Do you guys realize that they sold me this total car with full self-driving, with the paint color, for less than what a base price of a Model Y Performance is? And then notice down at the bottom, we also highlighted it. Paint color black, which was the standard color, is now a $1,500 upgrade. The standard color now is white. They changed that. Have no idea why they changed it, but they did. It's to my benefit. This also leads to why I couldn't do red. If I changed the color to red, that midlife crisis red that I love, they were going to jack the price up to current market value. And then here's the biggest change from the date I reserved it back in March of 2019 to today, is that full self-driving is now a $12,000 option. That's right. They took it from $5,000 on the day I reserved it to now it's worth $12,000 or market value. This is why it was so important for them to give me value on the Model 3, I felt like, in the overall scheme of things. So if you're keeping track of the numbers, we went from, this was an $81,490 car that Tesla was going to sell me for $66,000. So if you compare the $66,000 that I could buy this Tesla for to the $41,000 that I could sell my Model 3 private party with, that left a difference of $25,000. Still not too bad of a deal, since I got the car for 23% less than the sticker price of what you could get a car for right now. So $25,000, that's already a pretty good deal. But I have a better deal in the fact that we are a content creator source. And I told you my original Tesla videos, when I got my Model 3, I was so excited. I loved it. I started creating content on it just because I wanted everybody to know how good this vehicle was. Well, if you just added up how much YouTube has paid me for those videos, it's a little over $13,000. So the difference between the 25 and the 13 that YouTube had paid me, we're now down to a difference of $11,766. Well, remember that beautiful mistake that I made on March of 2019, where I gave them $2,500 deposit on just the option. It was fully refundable, but the option of buying a Tesla Model Y. If you apply that to the $11,766, you can see this Tesla Model Y cost me $9,266. Now, I hear what you're saying. I mean, this is a beautiful car. You can see my family's all happy. Teenagers are loving it. My youngest is loving it. It's slick looking now. It's not as pretty as my Model 3. I think my Model 3 is a better looking car. But I will tell you, I have thoroughly enjoyed all the improvements they've made on Model Ys, and even the build quality since I bought the Model 3 in 2018. It's been a great endeavor for me. Now, I know you guys are financial mutants. You're watching this content He was saying, Brian, you didn't mention sales tax. What's going on? I want to know transparently how much it's actually cost. That's a good catch. The reason we didn't cover sales tax is that, look, every municipality, every state is a little different on how they collect sales tax on new vehicles. But for all those that are keeping track of full transactional costs, in the state of Tennessee, it's about a 7.5% sales tax adjustment. So if you have to think about that, it did cost me $4,700 of sales tax. So full turnout, this was about a $14,000 financial impact to me. I think it's worth it because you think, I cannot believe that a Tesla, just like the Model Y that I drive, is now going to cost you in the mid 80s. That's unbelievable. I don't even know if I would be willing to part with that much money, but I was fortunate enough that I made that beautiful decision. It was kind of an accidental mistake of putting a reserve of $2,500 back in March of 2019, and they honored that price. So that leads to a great closing question. We all know there's a ton of people excited about this Cybertruck that's supposed to be coming in 2023. Is Tesla going to honor the pricing when you reserved your Cybertruck? The second question is, will they get this full self-driving issue fixed by the time the Cybertruck comes about? All these things are important, and all these things the Tesla Nation wants to know. But here's what we will tell you closing out, because we are a financial show. I love Tesla. I love the brand of Tesla. I love the vehicles of Tesla. But remember, I still treat Teslas as a luxury brand. So if you are in the market for buying a Tesla, I would not be doing the Money Guy show justice if I didn't share 23.8. Remember, normal cars, you can get away with putting 20% down, don't finance them for more than 3 years, and the payments can't exceed 8% of your monthly income. However, Teslas I consider a premium brand, so I want you to treat this as a all-cash offer, meaning if you can't pay it off within 12 months, you don't even need to be buying a Tesla. I know interest rates have been low historically. I know these cars in this strange market we're in 2022 have actually been appreciating, but long-term, vehicles depreciate, they cost to maintain, and they're not good for your bottom line and your finances. And the thing I hate is that I see a lot of people having a much higher car payment than they do in monthly investments. And that's what's actually going to create wealth in the long term, is you saving and investing for yourself. So be a financial mutant. Find the opportunities like I did with this Model Y, but also make sure you're taking advantage of all the benefits of letting your money and your army of dollar bills work just as hard as you do for your money.